What if I told you that the difference between living an extraordinary life and feeling stuck where you are comes down to just one thing, your mindset? Think about it. Every decision you make, every risk you take, and every dream you either chase or abandon is filtered through the way you see yourself and your abilities. This isn't just motivational talk. It's backed by decades of psychology research. Dr. Carol Dweck, a Stanford psychologist, discovered something remarkable. People generally fall into two categories: those with a fixed mindset and those with a growth mindset. And this simple difference determines how we respond to failure, how we see challenges, and ultimately, how far we go in life. Here's the key. A fixed mindset whispers, "This is who you are and you can't change." But a growth mindset shouts, "This is who you are now, and you can become so much more." Can you see how powerful that is? Imagine two people who both fail at something. One gives up, labeling themselves a failure forever. The other asks, "What can I learn from this? How can I get better?" Same event, two completely different outcomes, driven not by talent, not by luck, but by mindset. So let me ask you, when you face setbacks, do you tend to retreat, or do you lean in and learn? That's the first clue to discovering your true mindset. Because once you realize the power it holds, you'll start seeing it everywhere. In your work, your relationships, even your happiness. Practical tip. For the next week, pay attention to the self-talk that runs through your head when you face a challenge. Do you hear excuses, or do you hear curiosity? That little voice will reveal which mindset is in control. Transition. Now that you understand how mindset shapes your life, let's take a closer look at the fixed mindset. The hidden trap that silently limits millions of people every single day. Picture this: a student gets a low grade on a test. Instead of seeing it as a chance to learn, they say, "I'm just not smart enough." That right there is the fixed mindset at work. It convinces you that your abilities are carved in stone, that you were born with a certain level of intelligence, talent, or skill, and nothing can really change that. Sounds familiar? Many of us carry this mindset without even realizing it, because it hides behind fear, excuses, and perfectionism. The fixed mindset thrives on comfort zones. If you've ever avoided trying something new because you were scared of looking stupid, that's the fixed mindset whispering in your ear. Tells you, don't risk failure. Protect your image. On the surface, it feels safe. But in reality, it's like living in a cage where growth is impossible. Every setback feels like a personal attack. Every criticism feels like proof that you're not good enough. And slowly, without even noticing, you begin to shrink your life to fit the limits of your belief. Psychology shows us that people with a fixed mindset often tie their self-worth to performance. If they succeed, they feel worthy. If they fail, they feel worthless. Imagine the pressure of living that way, constantly needing to prove yourself, yet terrified of being exposed. This is why the fixed mindset leads to frustration, procrastination, and sometimes even giving up on dreams altogether. Here's the truth. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, it's not a reason to feel ashamed. It's actually the first step toward transformation. Becoming aware of your fixed mindset tendencies allows you to challenge them. For instance, the next time you hear yourself say, "I can't do this," pause and add one small word at the end. Yet, that single word turns a closed door into an open path. Micro-challenge. Over the next 24 hours, notice one area of your life where you've been holding back because you're afraid of failure. Write it down. Then ask yourself, what would a growth mindset version of me do here? This tiny exercise can spark powerful shifts. Transition. Now that we've uncovered the limitations of a fixed mindset, let's flip the coin and explore the other side, the growth mindset, and how it transforms obstacles into stepping stones for success. Now imagine the same student who got a low grade on that test. Instead of saying, "I'm not smart enough," they think, "I didn't prepare well this time. What can I do differently next time?" That small shift is the growth mindset in action, and it changes everything. A growth mindset is rooted in the belief that intelligence, talent, and skills can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. Think of some of the greatest innovators, athletes, or leaders. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. What separates them from those who gave up wasn't luck or talent. It was their mindset. They saw failure not as proof of their limits, but as feedback, as data to help them grow. That's the power of a growth mindset. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Psychologically, this mindset works because it shifts your brain's focus. Instead of obsessing over protecting your image, you start looking for ways to improve. Challenges stop being threats and start becoming opportunities. Criticism stops feeling like an attack and starts feeling like guidance. Even mistakes, those painful, embarrassing ones, become teachers that help you evolve. When you live with a growth mindset, you no longer need to fear failure, because failure itself becomes fuel. But here's something important. Adopting a growth mindset doesn't mean you'll always feel confident. In fact, it often means stepping into discomfort, facing uncertainty, and pushing past the voice in your head that says, "You can't." The difference is you act anyway because you trust that effort will lead to growth. And over time, that trust builds resilience, grit, and the kind of confidence that can't be faked. Practical tip. The next time you're about to try something new, and you hear the thought, "What if I fail?" Flip the script. Ask yourself, "What might I learn if I try?" Write that answer down. When you focus on learning rather than winning, you'll notice how much lighter, freer, and more motivated you feel. Transition. Now that we know what the growth mindset looks like, let's get practical. How do you actually train your brain to think this way every day? In the next section, we'll break down some simple but powerful shifts you can make to rewire your thinking. Here's the truth. Knowing about the growth mindset is one thing. Living it every single day is another. The good news is that your brain is flexible. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewire itself through repeated thought and action. That means you can literally train your mind to move from fixed to growth, one choice at a time. The first shift is how you view failure. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" start asking, "What is this teaching me?" For example, if you didn't land that job, instead of spiraling into self-doubt, analyze what you could improve for next time. This change turns pain into power. It's a small switch in language, but it transforms how your brain processes setbacks. The second shift is in the way you handle effort. People with a fixed mindset often think, "If I were truly talented, this would be easy." But effort is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're growing. Every time you struggle, your brain is building new connections. So the next time you feel resistance, remind yourself, "This is my brain expanding. This is me leveling up." The third shift is about embracing feedback. Most people avoid criticism because it feels personal. But when you're in a growth mindset, feedback is a gift. It's like having a mirror that shows you blind spots you couldn't see on your own. Try this micro-challenge. The next time someone gives you constructive criticism, instead of defending yourself, simply say, "Thank you. That helps me grow." Notice how different that feels compared to resisting it. And finally, celebrate progress, not perfection. Too often, we wait until we achieve something huge before giving ourselves credit. But growth mindset thrives on small wins. Did you push past fear today? Did you learn something new, even if you're still not perfect at it? That counts. Train yourself to see progress as victory, and you'll build unstoppable momentum. Practical tip. Pick one area of your life, whether it's fitness, career, or relationships, and write down one fixed mindset belief you've been holding on to. Then reframe it into a growth statement. For instance, "I'm terrible at public speaking" becomes, "I can improve my public speaking with practice." Put this new statement somewhere visible and repeat it daily. Over time, your brain will adopt it as truth. Transition. So now you know how to rewire your thinking. The question becomes, where do you stand today? Are you operating more from a fixed mindset or a growth one? Let's wrap this up with some self-reflection and a challenge that could change your life. By now, you've seen both sides of the story. The fixed mindset keeps you trapped in fear, convinced that who you are today is all you'll ever be. The growth mindset, on the other hand, opens doors, showing you that every challenge, every setback, every mistake is a stepping stone toward becoming your best self. So the real question is, which mindset are you living with right now? This isn't about labeling yourself permanently. None of us are 100 fixed or 100 growth. We live somewhere on the spectrum, shifting depending on the situation. Maybe in your career you're growth-oriented, but in your relationships you hold onto fixed beliefs. Or maybe you take risks in your hobbies, but shut down the moment failure touches your work. The power lies in noticing these patterns. Awareness is the first step because once you can spot the voice of the fixed mindset, you can choose to respond with growth instead. Here's your challenge. Over the next 7 days, catch yourself in at least one fixed mindset thought. It might sound like, I'm just not good at this, or I'll never change. When it shows up, pause. Then reframe it into a growth statement. Add the word yet. Replace I can't do this with I can't do this yet, but I'm learning. Write it down. Repeat it. Live it. This single exercise can begin reshaping the way your brain responds to life. Remember, greatness isn't built overnight. It's built in the tiny choices you make daily, the choice to try, the choice to learn, the choice to grow. If you can start making those choices today, imagine where you'll be a year from now, 5 years from now, even 10 years from now. And now I'll turn it over to you. Which mindset do you feel has been running most of your life? Fixed or growth? Share your answer in the comments below, because your reflection might just inspire someone else watching this video. And if you found value here, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because growth doesn't just happen alone. It spreads when we inspire each other. Conclusion: your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. Shift the lens and you don't just change your perspective, you change your entire life. The choice is yours.